What up, my friends? Hope you guys are well. So in this video I want to talk about taking calculated risks and why taking calculated risks is essential in winning, not just in business but in life. It's something that most people don't understand. If you look at, or if you study most of the great businessmen or most of the people that have been successful both life and in business, they have taken some serious risks, some massive risks. In fact, there's a YouTuber, I think it is, or some guy. He runs this channel called School of Hard Knocks or something like that. He goes around interviewing these billionaires and millionaires, multimillionaires. And he just asks them a bunch of questions about how they got wealthy. And this guy is only 23, by the way. And the way he does it is it's so next level. I started following this guy about 2 years ago, and I watched how he was able to take a risk in asking these questions to these wealthy people. Most people wouldn't even dare approach a rich person because they're too scared. But he was like bold enough to just walk up to all these rich people and ask them, how did you get rich? How much money do you make? All these intrusive questions. Now, that was risky because all these guys could have just said, F off, you're stupid or whatever. There were so many things that could have gone wrong, with that strategy of just approaching rich people. And some of these rich people had big ass bodyguards, but he was so slick with it. If you look at him now, his approach is so smooth. Like the people that he's interviewing end up just, loving talking to him. They just end up liking talking to him. So risk is everything in life. I discovered this the hard way. There are many of you that are watching my content, that have watched my content for a long time, or maybe you're only discovering my content for the first time. By the way, welcome to my village over here in Africa. And if you guys are ready to win, you better stick around and listen, because this channel is all about winning. So I discovered the hard way that there's so many people that are older than me that are living in regret. These people are miserable. I am 44 years old this year, and I'm grateful to have lived this long. This means I've seen enough. I've seen plenty of people in my life, met plenty of people in my life that I was able to watch them over time. So imagine in a 20-year span, my entire adult life, from let's say 24 until 44, which I'm 44 now, being able to see somebody that is, say, 20 years older than I am, watch them from when they were my age until they're in their 60s or even 70s, and observe some of the decisions that they've made and had conversations with them, only to find out some of these people are living in regret. And it's a brutal reality to discover, because a lot of these people are never going to tell you the truth. Instead, they're just going to live in misery. Actually, I think this is a perfect spot to sit down. So check out people playing soccer. So maybe we're going to go hang out and play soccer with them. Let's sit down over here and continue. These people are living in absolute misery. At first I was trying to figure out why are these people so miserable? Every time I hang out with them now, I didn't even want to hang out with them. I later on discovered that the main thing was they never took risk. Enough risk. It's not to say they didn't take risk at all, because they did. Because some of them were actually quite successful when they were younger. In their 30s, 40s, or even 50s, they were quite successful. But what ended up happening was, so some of them reached 50, 55, then they just took their foot off the gas. Oh my God. A grave mistake. Just because you get a little older, guys, never take your foot off the gas. It doesn't matter. You can be 70 years old. I know a guy that was 70 years old right now. Well, he is 70 now. And that guy is still working, applying pressure. I remember when I was a kid, I used to live with my grandfather. At the time, he passed away at 77. And when he was like around 75, I was probably like in, middle school there. So I was old enough to remember how he was moving. So it was one day, I overheard somebody say, why don't you just sleep in, relax, and not go to work? Because my grandfather used to wake up at 6 in the morning every single day and go to work. He had a store. And he loved that store. He loved working. So what he would do is wake up every morning at 6 in the morning, get dressed, get his breakfast, drop me to school, and go straight to a shop and apply pressure. And the guy was making money. The guy was the only one that was driving a Benz in that small town. That was a big achievement here in Africa. Driving a Benz in the 80s there, it was a big deal. So the guy knew, never take your foot off the gas. That's one lesson that I'm grateful to have learned from my grandfather. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't do that, you see. They don't do that, including you guys. What I'm saying is this: you guys need to start taking risks, calculated risks. Because some of you are stuck in the United States of America, doing 9-to-5 jobs that don't pay that well, or if they do pay well, you can't even keep that money because your bills are crazy. So what's the point? So take that chance, take that risk, start a new life, go for that dream, go for that goal. So if you're ready to take things to the next level, I'll put a link in the description of this video. Schedule some time, join other winners that are already winning, schedule a call. Talk to you soon.